The original plan when I looked for a vehicle to replace my last one was to just get an interim vehicle because I am trying to purchase a very popular vehicle that's coming out next year.
You did it, kid. Hello, it's me again. My name's Kyle, and this is my 2023 Toyota GR Corolla. You may remember me from a couple months back. We did a video on my Honda CRZ. Had to trade that in to purchase this vehicle. Nothing wrong with it. I love that car, but it really was just a car to have in the meantime while I waited for this to come in. That was the plan all along, and we did it. We got one. Paid a premium, but we're there. There was a little bit of markup, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was originally really high, but they dropped it down. I did end up paying a $7,000 markup. It's the Core edition, so that was the 36 to 38 starting price. So it's not bad for what you get. I think it's perfectly priced. Even with the ADM, I think it's a great car. So I'm not sweating it. There is nothing else in the market that I would purchase for the amount of money that I'm paying for this. This is the culmination of everything that I've wanted in a vehicle for a long time. I was immediately over the moon about this car. I waited almost a year for it anyway, so you had a little bit of that finally moment, you know what I mean? That where it's finally come to fruition. It's now a tangible object. You're done looking at pictures of it and watching videos after video after video. It's just once that initial infatuation died down and I'm daily driving it, it's still the perfect car to me. It's a great car. I've only had this car for maybe a month so far, but I've already put 740 miles on it. So it's definitely past its break-in period now. So now we get to have fun with it. This has a 1.6 liter 3-cylinder turbo, all-wheel drive with a 6-speed manual transmission. I believe in its current form, it's making roughly 300 horsepower and 290 something foot-pounds of torque. But that's just off of memory, so forgive me if I'm incorrect on those numbers. I wouldn't say it's fast. It's not mind-blowingly fast. It's quick. It's very fun to drive, but that's not at all the reason that I'd want it anyway. It's the perfect amount of power. There's tons of room to get extra power out of these. There's people with the Yaris's making over 500, 600 horsepower, so there's tons of room, especially for a little 3-cylinder. That's pretty impressive. But out the box, I'd say it's pretty fair. Don't get your hopes up thinking that it's going to be some crazy fast vehicle, because it's not. Of course, most of my friends just told me that I'm probably paying way too much for it, but whatever, dude. Some of my friends support my financial irresponsibility, but it's my money. Let me spend it how I want. The only opinion that really matters is my husband's, and he's all for it, so let's go. I haven't done anything to it. It's only got 700 miles. Honestly, the way that it comes with the wheels that it has, it looks pretty close to perfect to me. The only thing I would change is I'm going to add tint to it. I mean, just because of the weather here where I live, it's pretty necessary. And then I may do wheels in the future, but I'm still in that stage, you know what I mean? That infatuation stage of just loving this thing. It's still perfect to me. If I were to change anything, it would probably be wheels, and as no surprise if you watched me in the previous video, it would just be Advan RGs and some decent tires, just with the right offset to have it stick out just a little bit. Advan RGs have always been the goal for any car. Put them on there. It's a Corolla, you know what I mean? Like, the interior is very Corolla. You've got the newest infotainment system, which is nice, and it's got wireless Apple CarPlay, which is a huge plus, but I mean, you're not really buying the car for its creature comforts, so I'm fine with the Corolla-ness of the interior. The seats feel a little more bolstery, which is nice. It's got all the Toyota piano black trim in here, which is just a pain to keep clean. The gauge cluster is amazing. It's really cool. With all the features you can change on it too, it's got a great look to it. But other than that, it's very basic in here. I like that about it, though. I like the basicness. Toyota said, here's cheap piece of shit we shoved some stuff in, and you're gonna like it. Thanks, Daddy Toyota.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Can I include that in the video?
That's too much. They did give you a cool few little features here. You've got your IMT button, which is active rev matching, which works pretty well, but I've never had a car that really had it, so I don't have much to compare it to. You've got your selectable torque split for the all-wheel drive system. You've got either a 60-40 split or the track mode 50-50 or a drift mode, I guess, or whatever. 30 front, 70 rear, which I don't ever see me using. The 60-40 and 50-50 are the best modes to me. And you've got different drive modes like, comfort, sport. Select them here with this switch. You can change it to you can set it to change your gauges, but I really don't feel a difference in driving mode. It may be a little bit of pedal mapping, but it doesn't have active suspension or anything to change, so it just feels all raw all the time. Exterior wise, they hit it out the park. This car looks great. It doesn't have too much like the previous Type R had, and it doesn't have too little like the Golf R has, in my opinion. The body sculpting is pretty perfect. I love the wide front fenders, the rear bulged quarter panels, the hood is great. Even better on the Circuit Edition, which is what I hope to have purchased, but with the way these are rolling out right now, I just wanted to take a white one that I could get. Hell yeah, I want a carbon fiber roof that's gonna just melt in the sun. The Circuit Edition has the power bulge with the hood vents on the hood, which you can purchase and put that on your core if you want. It's got a bigger spoiler, which is very cool, and it's got a carbon fiber roof. I don't plan to be driving this more than just a little bit of a weekend corner attacker, or it is my daily after all, so I'm not all that worried about having a carbon fiber roof and a bigger spoiler, especially with them only making 1,500 of those. The markup on those might be insane. Who knows? The biggest difference between the performance pack and the non-performance pack that you can see clear as day is that the performance pack has red calipers, and this does not have red calipers. So you will notice, if you have been paying attention to these cars, that this is not a performance pack, which means it doesn't have the twin LSDs. I'm fine with it. Whatever. I've got one. I'm not going to be going to go do donuts in the thing. I don't think. Maybe. I don't think I'll need the LSDs anyway. At least I have a fun car that I've wanted for a long time. Something to just enjoy.
This video gets 4,000 likes. We'll go do donuts in an empty parking lot.
Oh, Bolt. Oh, time to show my old car who's boss. Let's get him. No, it feels great. I think it's especially if you stay in the turbo, the acceleration's pretty awesome in this thing. If you keep this car between 3,000 and 7,000 RPMs, I think is the golden area of the vehicle. It feels the best there. That's right after the turbo's really coming on strong, and where you feel the most of the power. It does lack a little bit in the low end, but I'm surprised at how much low end torque this 3-cylinder has. 3 cylinders to make a 1.6 liter is a pretty big 3-cylinder. It feels pretty good all the way to $7,000. I haven't taken it up there too many times, but I think it feels pretty strong all the way up there. It doesn't have that normal plateau that I've noticed in older cars. It just kind of keeps going. I feel like this car could rev out quite a bit more, but I don't know. With it being a 3-cylinder, I wonder if balance is an issue. Anywhere you are in any amount of percentage of driving that you want to throw at it, the thing feels great at that. Honestly, really the only gripe that I have about this car, it's only been a couple months, but the only thing that I dislike about it is the first year for their Apple, wireless Apple CarPlay, and their infotainment system is all new, so I'm dealing with the first year bugs of infotainment systems. Every time I turn my car on, a dumb message comes up, says I have to insert a USB. Tried inserting a USB, doesn't go away, whatever. I'll just wait for them to come out with a new update for it. The only other thing, if I had to pick something, if I'm nitpicking here, I do wish it was a little louder. It's got these ridiculous 3 exhaust tips, and the center one's baffled, but it still seems like the noise isn't there. I used to own an Abarth, and that thing had a perfect exhaust note. I mean, if you've ever heard an Abarth, you've definitely known that it sounds way more powerful than it is. It's just very pugnacious, and that this thing doesn't have that loud roar. I know you can change the exhaust, waiting for HKS to come out with something for it, but I don't know if I want to change anything, really. I like the way the car is. Every once in a while it does this flutter where it sounds like it might be like compressor surge, or just the blow-off decides it wants to be really loud at that point. It's just got a great note. Chances are that if you're looking to purchase this, you are most likely a car guy. There aren't shipping too many out this year. So I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but make sure you read your maintenance schedule and really pay attention to it. One thing that I wish stood out to me, I didn't know that there was a break-in period. I was just treating it like there was one. There definitely is one. It's 630 miles or 1,000 kilometers. Make sure you follow that, and then don't wait 10,000 miles for your first oil change. I believe a lot of people say that they're recommending 4,000 miles or so, especially for the first one. But you're going to have to change your differential fluid, your transfer case fluid, front differential fluid, transmission fluid. I mean, you're going to have to keep up on all those fluids, and the maintenance is shorter than you think. I think it's only like 20,000 miles for those fluids. So that's the only thing I would recommend. It's not, it's definitely a car that you're going to have to take care of. Now, you could probably ignore it. It's a Toyota, you know what I mean? I'm sure it could just take the beating, but I wouldn't do it. Especially if you're going to drive it hard, I would definitely stick to that. I highly recommend this car. I think it's much better than anything that's in its class. I think it's better than a lot of vehicles for its price point, honestly. Just be careful. A lot of places will advertise that they're selling it at MSRP or near MSRP, and then you get there and it's 15,000 over or 20,000 over MSRP, and just it's really easy to get screwed on this car, especially right now with the way they're shipping them out. In contrast to how I responded to this question with the CRZ, I do plan on keeping this car forever, for a very long time. The only reason I would get rid of this car is for a circuit edition. But like I said, it would have to be at the right price. I don't see the advantages of the circuit edition being worth getting rid of this one. This is a great car. Or if Toyota somehow one-ups themselves and makes another Corolla with another trim. They've got 3 out right now: the Morizo, the Circuit, and the Core. All 3 of them are spectacular. If they come out with a revised chassis, I mean, the E210 chassis has been out for quite a while now, so it is due for a body change, or at least some kind of a facelift. So we'll see. Like I said, even in its current state, I could see me keeping this car for forever. Well, that's my 23 GR Corolla. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Maybe I'll see you again next time.